Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode from the Fourth Line. My name's Emma, and I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Marcy.
Hello.
Hello. We've actually a lot to talk about that's actually hockey related because yesterday was exciting. Um,
It
which,
was.
which feels like an understatement. We can talk about some actual hockey. We can talk about Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final. Man, I didn't realize I could get so invested in a game that is between two teams I do not care about.
Mm, it was. I was getting so stressed.
Oh, me too. I was talking to talking to someone yesterday actually. She was telling me about how she was like watching she was at work and she was watching it on her phone. And then she like had come home and was like texting people about the game while watching it, like in the little screen at the top of her phone and things like that. I was like, love you. But yeah, I have my notes are interesting because they're not really in chronological order except for Jack Nicklaus. They had Jack, like, very, very good former pro golfer Jack Nicklaus hit the drum, which I think is hilarious because that man is like 75. But it's cool that they had him there. I don't know if I actually never have looked up where he's from. I don't know if is he even from Florida? If he is from Florida and I was wrong. Oh no, he's 84. My apologies. And he's from Columbus, Ohio. He's not even from Florida. He is from Columbus, Ohio,
Oh dear.
which is hilarious.
Mm.
Uh, I would love to see Jack Nicklaus experience the cannon at a Columbus Blue Jackets game. How can we? Oh, now I just have to vamp for a little bit. Oh, because
Sorry.
bless you.
Thank you. I was trying to I'm not making everyone suffer through my extremely loud sneezes.
I felt like you were gonna say something and then you just were sneezing. I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, that was my controversial yet bold statement. Just sneeze.
I thought you were about to disagree with having 84-year-old Jack Nicklaus go to a Columbus Blue Jackets game to experience the cannon.
Yeah, no, that I very much agree with it. I get him to a Blue Jackets game. I beg.
I think it's possible. Also, Lomberg back in the lineup for Florida. Cool. I don't know. To be honest, didn't notice him until they were showing shots of him on the bench, and I was like, oh yes, he is the only Florida Panther with hair that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the actual game, starting it off hot. Leaf legend Connor Brown with a shorthanded goal.
Leafs
Leafs
legend.
legend Connor Brown. Oh man. I laughed because I saw him, like, it was very similar to how he got, like, it was very similar to his assist in game 4, except he scored the game, like he scored the goal that time. And I was like, oh, he got to about just the top of the circles, and I was like, oh, he's gonna score, isn't he?
Like,
Literally,
yep,
I watched it and I was
a
like,
mile off.
oh, he is gonna score. He's had a pretty great playoffs, compared to his regular season, I think, in the grand scheme of things. And he opens the scoring for Edmonton, which is cool.
Yeah.
And also just the Panthers penalty kill was awful. So bad.
It didn't do them any favors.
Wasn't even their power, both were bad. Their penalty kill was bad, and also their power play was bad. Um, yeah, and I don't know what the next ones came in order because I just then have a bunch of notes as I was remembering them as I was writing these out yesterday. Because then my next note is about I think it was Kachuk who got the embellishing penalty.
Mm.
I do not have which Oiler was the hooking call, but I do know it was a hooking.
That's all we need to know.
That's all we need. But yeah, I was um, like I saw a lot of people going, "Oh, it wasn't embellishing. He just tripped." I'm like, okay, whatever. It's the like Florida Panthers are finally upset that they're not getting like Florida Panther fans are like upset because they're finally not getting every call in a series go their way.
Mm.
Like, sorry. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're like sometimes maybe the call is wrong, but you're not gonna get it to go your way. I mean, I also have down here it could be like the call of the series in terms of it could be the turning point because instead of it being power play for Florida Panthers, it was a 4-on-4.
Mm.
So, but who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. Speaking of penalties, so Edmonton was taking like it was like weird. They'd get the power play. And then what,
Mm.
30 to 45 seconds into the power play, they would get called on a penalty.
Yeah. Like clockwork. And it's just they really know how to just stress us out.
Yeah.
But no,
Um,
it was a thrilling game.
Stuart Skinner.
Stuart Skinner. Little Miss Mustache saved
Aura
the
his
day.
mustache had.
Oh, God bless Stuart Skinner's mustache. But no, it's nice to see Connor McDavid and Stuart Skinner dragging this team back to Edmonton,
That
kicking
is
and screaming.
that is actually my next note is Connor McDavid, 8 points in 2 games, which is ridiculous.
He's not real. He's
The
actually not real.
I'm sorry. I hate that it's like a Corey Perry goal. It honestly could have been anyone
Mm.
in Corey Perry's spot, but the way Connor McDavid deked out 4 Florida Panthers in their own zone
Oh, it was beautiful.
to do the cross crease pass to Corey Perry to score.
It was incredible.
I was like, holy shit. Like,
Like,
you
it
don't
happened.
really realize how fast Connor McDavid is until he does his zone entry, and you're like, what the fuck?
You just thought there's like, whoa. Like, it happened in slow-mo. I was just sat there and
Literally.
like, no way.
Literally, it felt like it was slow motion. Like I was like, "What am I watching? This is criminal." Like they're already dead. Stop kicking. Like, oh my. Anyways, Connor McDavid, the man that you are. Even though in his post game he looked like the English teacher that all the gay kids in high school were obsessed with.
Yep.
Because he had like he has his playoff beard is out of control.
It's
And
it's a
then
playoff bid.
it's a playoff beard. And then he was wearing this like beige almost tweed suit with like a weird purple striped tie. And it was just, are you looking it up? I have a picture I can send you, I
No,
think.
I was just writing something down.
Okay. But it was something special, I
Mm.
think.
I feel like I fairly recently, I feel like it was Conor McDavid that I said that he looks like, there was this one picture and I was like, he looks like the history teacher that everyone thought was gay until he just casually drops that he has a
So this
wife.
is what but then his wife is gay.
But then his wife has a very close friendship with one of the English teachers. The history books would call them good friends.
That's like exactly what it is. Like
He just has that vibe.
oh, Actually, I'm gonna write that Edmonton Oilers as like who they as staff members in a high school. I got an offsites pitch meeting after this. After we record this, I'm bringing that up.
Oh, I love the way your brain works sometimes. I really do.
My brain is fantastic.
Your brain is incredible.
My brain is something special for sure. Yeah, Boosh bomb.
It would.
Floor is yours.
You could say that it was beautiful.
I regret giving you the floor on that one.
I got that typed out, waiting to find the right moment to say it. I knew you'd love it.
I already didn't like it when you tweeted it out on Tuesday. Do you think the 3 days would?
I noticed that you didn't like that tweet.
No, I think I also complained about it in the replies too.
Yeah, you did. Let me enjoy my silly little puns.
Okay. Yeah, it was a shot that bounced off the inside of Zach Hyman's knee. Okay. Also as well, the Matthew Tkachuk goal. I want to take a moment to talk about Matthew Tkachuk because I don't want to speculate on injury, but he has to be playing through something.
Oh yeah.
Since the early part of the New York series. He's
not been him.
No.
And we know that he will play through stuff because of what he played through
last year. Yeah. So
it's gonna take a lot to stop him.
Yeah, and also the reason why I wanted to it's it's not like he's not himself. He's still himself. He was he was throwing punches in game 4. He was going up to he was, getting into it with Draisaitl at the end of game 5. And so he's still being himself, but the way he controls the ice is not the same as we've seen from him in the regular season yet. And you can be like, well, it's different hockey in the playoffs. But even in the playoffs, we've seen him dominate the ice in the playoffs. We've seen it against the Leafs. We've seen it against who did Florida Island? Was it Islanders? It was New York, right? Florida played. No, because it was Carolina. Who did Florida play in the first round? Oh, Washington. No. Tampa. I had to cycle through every single matchup in the first round of the East. Oh my God. Maybe it is a sign that the playoffs are too long.
It's gone on a while.
It has gone on a while. And I've seen so many complaints about that, about people complaining about that there's 2 days in between games in the Stanley Cup final. And people are like, well, the flight isn't that long. I'm like, no, but also there is no direct flight between Florida, between Miami and Edmonton. So that's not so much for the players, because whatever charter flights, it's for the members of the media. It's for the TV crews that have to fly to each game.
And as well, I'm not being funny, but if you're putting the games closer than 2 days together, if I was flying back and forth, I would not feel good.
No, oh my God. If it's because they're 7-hour flights.
Yeah, it's
7-8-hour flights. I'm sorry. I feel gross after being on a flight for 2 hours. I'm like, recycled air. Gross. But and you're cramped too, and you can be like, well, they're the NHL charter flights are adapted so that they have more leg room because they're just bigger individual, which yeah, I know it's true, but you're still sitting down for 7 hours for the most part. Anyways, I just think it makes sense, especially when the series is so this far apart, but like there was different aspects of the way the playoffs got organized that could have been changed for the better. One of them was like the fact that we had 5 days in between the end of the conference finals and the start of the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, that
Just
was
just throwing that one out there, which I know where it was scheduled with the idea of both series going to a game 7, but like you would think that you would even go to the arenas, and like I know it also depends on arena availability as well, because like you had to have the arenas available on the day, and like you're now getting into like the heat of like summer concert series like season. But it's, or maybe I don't know, start the season earlier. I don't know how we can. It's like this ongoing debate where it's like, how do we solve an unfixable problem, essentially, that makes everyone happy?
Yeah, there's a lot of solutions, but none of them will. There will always be people mad about
Yeah.
what
And
happens.
the thing is as well, is like you don't hear the play, like maybe also as well, like the players can't really complain about this, but like the people who are complaining is like agents, which I guess maybe could be a mouthpiece for players, but like it's not even members of the media who are going to the games. It's like Frank Saravalli who's complaining about this. I'm like, dude, you don't go to the gate. You're not like one of the beat reporters who is going to every single game. Like, you're not like, right? It's not like you're
Yeah,
James Duthie who, oh, did you see that tweet from James Duthie on Tuesday night?
I don't know if I did.
You haven't? Oh, I'm gonna send it to you. But yeah, so
Oh,
anyways, in short, McDavid has a 2-goal, not 2 goal. McDavid gets the empty net to seal the win. They had a couple of close calls on that. But yeah, so back to Edmonton for game 6 tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Very excited. We'll see how it goes. Just because I know, like, once I send you this tweet, we're not going to go back to talking about the game. So I wanted to
oh
close out.
yeah. I'm like scared.
Okay, I'm sending this to you, and I want you to look at it, and then I want you to read through the replies.
Not.
For those who don't know, it's this tweet. Well, Marcy reads through the replies. It's this tweet that James Duthie tweeted out from James Duthie from TSN tweeted out on Tuesday, saying my hotel TV was acting up. The engineer, good guy, came in and fixed and got into the game and stayed for the last 5 minutes. He never watched a hockey game before. And then the included picture is a picture that looks like the start of a porno.
No, is it bad that I saw that? I saw this and like I didn't even clock just the leg.
The leg. Hey, at least he's wearing
I just
socks.
liked it and moved on.
Hey, at least he's wearing socks, so we don't have to talk about Like, I know we talked about Wayne Gretzky's toes last episode,
Well,
but at
that's
least we
Wayne
don't have to
Gretzky.
talk. At least we don't have to talk about James Duthie's toes. But yeah, the read through the replies, they're fantastic. But then
They're
it's like
incredible.
it's a picture of um I guess like a hotel room, and it's you can see the TV with the game on, you can see the repairman there standing there in the corner, and then you see the bed sheets, and James Duthie's leg, bare leg, sticking
My
out from
favorite reply. Why
the
didn't
bed covers.
Why didn't you invite him to cuddle? Or did he do?
He was not
No,
waiting
because
around
like
to watch the game. But I don't
why
have
is
any
he
money to
lying
pay
with his
you.
legs
How will we
out?
ever work this out? Are you laying on bed naked with your socks on? Put pants on, or gotta love the Costco socks. From this POV, it looks like you let him hit it after. Ooh!
Oh,
Live reaction on the pod! We've saved us from running through James Duthie. Welcome back, Ned. The Penguins have re-signed goaltender Alex Nedeljkovic to a 2-year contract. The contract runs through the 25-26 season and carries an average annual value of $2.5 million. Way to go, Kyle.
Woo!
Way to go, Kyle.
Go, Kyle. I'm
Um,
still giggling at these replies.
oh, they're great. It's my favorite thing.
Oh. Gotta love it.
But yeah, those I highly go check it. I just want to sorry, I want to find I could click on the press release. I'm not going to. I'm going to instead Alex Novel. He's such a goofy looking man.
Yeah.
All right, okay. I can give you a round of stats. So Alex Nedeljkovic, goalie, 28 years old, was selected 37th overall by the Carolina Hurricanes in 2014. Was huh? He was traded for Jonathan Bernier. Interesting. But yeah, um, in his first season with the Pittsburgh Penguins last year, in 38 games, he had a goals against average of 2.97 and a save percentage of 902.
Good for him.
But yeah. Also, because the news got dropped into the Offsides Discord. They all say hi, by the way.
Oh my god, tell him I say hi, and I miss them all so dearly.
Yeah. It's just because I just said in there, I was like, I'm mid-podcast reporting, right? Live reaction. We love the live reactions on the pod. But I think that's good for Pittsburgh. I think that solidifies their goaltending. Last year, I believe he didn't have that high of a contract. I'm just pulling up. I'm sorry, I'm pulling this up. Okay, look, I have some defense for not being prepared with this because
it's just happened.
Yeah. I didn't even know this was going to happen. Okay. Blah blah blah. Okay, so Alex Nedeljkovic, he was pending UFA this year, which allows them to have Tristan Yari locked down for that's now both of them through until the end of the 25-26 season, which is good. That kind of I mean, there is still time to trade Yari. He has a modified 12 seed. That's an interesting number. No trade list, but I don't know. We'll see. That's just over 7. No, that's not. That's like 7.8 mil for your goaltending for the next 2 years if you leave it with these two guys. But who knows? I mean, it's acceptable for a solid, backup goaltender, I guess. Kyle Dubas and goaltenders is always a very interesting thing to me. I wasn't going to talk about it on this episode. I was going to wait until a little bit later to just talk about Kyle Dubas and goaltender. You know what? But I guess we'll take the time now. He was a 1.5 AAV last season with the Pittsburgh Penguins. That Kyle Dubas signed him on a 1 year, but I don't know what it is. Kyle, he's so interesting because I think for him, he sees that he very much subscribes to the mindset of you don't need superstar goaltending if you have superstar goal scoring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Which like
Now that I think about it, yeah.
there's examples of that being true, but right? But like you also see, it depends on, you know what? It depends on like
Mm.
who you're going up against. We've seen it where it's been a thing. But also at the same time, like you see where like the superstar goaltenders like they do win. Like you look at Tampa with Vasilevsky, they won 2 cups with superstar goaltending. So
Mm.
it's interesting. I don't know. We'll see. Kyle, it's, you know what I mean. It's just I don't know what I don't know what it is. Kyle Davis and goaltenders. It's this weird sort of thing that like you
Mm.
saw it with the Leafs as well.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, I just want to know. I want to know how he works. Like, I want to understand
Oh,
his.
to like I'm because he seems like a notebook guy. I'm pretty sure he is a big notebook guy. I would
That
love to.
one look at him. Of course, he's a
He
notebook guy.
he kept journals in elementary school. He kept, sorry,
Oh, yeah.
diaries in elementary school and said, "No, that's my journal."
Oh dear. No, that is
Uh,
like you look at him, and that is a man that carries around a little pocket notebook.
I carry around a little pocket notebook.
Oh,
I always have a pen and a little tiny notebook that's like the size of, it's slightly bigger than a credit card,
oh, stop
um,
it.
in my purse all the time on me.
That is
I don't
so
know.
cute.
I live in Ottawa. What if I run into Brady Kachuk and I want him to sign something for? That's so stupid. I would not ask Brady. I would leave if I was.
Why, Brady? Will
If
you
I
sign
was.
my pocket notebook?
No, no, no. I promise. I am very much like if I run into like pro athletes in the wild, I maybe will say a hey, good luck tonight or whatever, or like I will just straight up ignore them. I don't bother them. But yeah. Well, congrats to Alex. He did well for the Penguins in that.
Mm,
Like, it's the right decision.
yeah.
um, yeah. Anyways, Barclay Goodrow.
Yeah.
There's some interesting things to add to this. So it started out on Tuesday where the New York Rangers placed forward Barclay Goodrow on waivers, and then he was claimed by the San Jose, his former team, the team that he started his NHL career with, the San Jose Sharks on Wednesday. Um, in 80 games during the regular season with the Rangers, he has 4 goals, 8 assists for a combined 12 points in 80 games, if I didn't say that. But then in the playoffs, he came alive and in 16 games had 6 goals, 2 assists for combined 8 points. Playoff performer. So I don't know what the
Mm.
San Jose Sharks are doing to acquire him. He has a $3.6 million cap hit for the next 3 seasons. He also had a modified no move clause that had a no trade list of 15 teams. And this is a really interesting one. And I think I sent this to you. Yeah, here we go. This was via New York Post, the New York Post Sports. And it was Chris Drury provided a quote on it. There has been widespread belief that Barclay Goodrow, well, not this wasn't a direct quote from Chris Drury, but this was some very corroborated rumors. There's English. There's a widespread belief that Barclay Goodrow had San Jose Sharks on his 15 team no trade list that New York Rangers GM Chris Drury got around by placing him on waivers where San Jose claimed him. That we've been told by several folks Goodrow is not happy about how this went down.
I mean,
Like, that's like diabolical. Like,
yeah.
okay, yes, is it like you're allowed to do that? Yes, it
But
happens to
also,
work.
come on.
Like, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to place a player. Like, there's nothing wrong about placing a player on waivers and then having another team claim him, right? But if that was done to get around oh, that's diabolical. But also, like, I have to, like, mad respect.
It takes balls to just be like, yeah, you know what? I want to get rid of him. Just put him on waivers,
Right? Like, it's,
like to
that's,
get
like,
around it.
that's kind of, like, that's, like, pretty, it's ingenious. It also is just, like, very cruel because you aren't thinking about, like, the player as like, a
Mm.
person who, like,
Oh yeah.
has feelings about a situation that they're getting placed in. You're very much just like, it's a little token. I don't know, whatever, like
Mm.
moving
I'd
pieces on a
be,
chessboard or something. But it is. I saw that and I was like, no freaking way.
I'd be fuming.
I
Like
yeah.
I would if
Uh,
like I would make this the messiest, most public breakup. I just oh
yeah. But like he's had such a weird, like Gaudreau, I should say, has
mm,
had such a weird. How do you spell his name? There we go. It's been like he's what, undrafted, so I'm like, okay, never. But I'm just like looking at his stats and it's he's been a fourth line guy, but this is by far his worst season. Like he scored 12 points in 80 games, which is still
mm,
less points than he scored in 55 games with the Tampa Bay Lightning in
yeah,
2021. It's like brutal.
it's not ideal.
No. And like, okay, you could be like, well, but his playoff performance. Yeah, but you have to get there first. And as many of the moves that San Jose has made over the past like month have, and also with the draft with the first overall pick, that will probably like most likely it'll be an absolute shocker if they don't pick Macklin Celebrini. They have the potential to start
Mm,
getting better, but it's it's interesting.
yeah, it is.
But yeah, so Barclay Goodrow will be back in San Jose,
Whether he likes it or not.
whether he likes it or not. Um, yeah. Uh, Now we've got kind of like this was a big trade. This was like the blockbuster trade of yesterday.
Mm,
Yes, yesterday was crazy. We had like waiver pickup, we had a minor sort of minor trade, we had a pretty major trade, and then we had like a true 1-for-1 trade. We had a
mm,
little bit of everything. We had a little bit of everything. But yeah, so this was kind of the major trade, and it was that the Calgary Flames traded goaltender Jacob Markstrom to the New Jersey Devils at a 31.25% salary retained, which turns his $6 million cap hit to $4 million in exchange for defenseman Kevin Ball and a top 10 protected first round 2025 draft pick, which is absolutely nothing.
that
Kevin
I
Ball is bad. Like if Kevin the I my favorite thing is the J Fresh tweet that was like went over Kevin Ball's like player profile, um which was, if I can scroll back through it, um was Kevin Ball, acquired by Calgary, is a third pairing defensive defenseman who takes a lot of penalties, which is J Fresh for he's shit.
yeah. I I was sat when the trade dropped. I was sat with my parents, and I just like I read the news and I just go, no way. So then I have to explain it all to my mum and just be like, yeah, no, this was insane.
Not to drop in offsides in here again.
Our good friend,
I Our good friends. Okay, look. I got into their Discord. I am writing a couple pieces for them starting this summer. So I had set out of the bag. This like I haven't like there'll be more official announcement to come, I'm sure, when I actually have an article to be like, here, I wrote this. But it was really fun to be in that Discord server yesterday because we were fully prepared to like not, like it was like, okay, he's been traded, he's going to New Jersey. We didn't know the return, and we were like, we probably won't find out the return for a while because it sounded like, New Jersey Devils, like whoever New Jersey was sending over hadn't been told yet that they got traded. And so we are like, all right, it's gonna be a couple hours. 5 minutes later. And in that 5 minutes, all of the Devils fans were going through like every worst case scenario. They were like Holtz. They were like, it's gonna be Bastion. It's gonna be Mercer. What if it's Luke Hughes?
Could you imagine? Oh, absolute carnage.
I would have sat there and just watched Twitter. I would have laughed so hard if it was Luke Hughes.
No, if it was Luke Hughes, I'd have gone, poured myself a really strong drink, and then just like watched it all go down. Oh dear. But no, I don't understand how they've managed to pull this off. It's insane.
But yeah, so and I think it is important to remember because this return looks awful. It looks so bad for Calgary because is Chris Conroy okay? Who knows? But also New Jersey Devils retained 25% of the Chris Tanev trade to Dallas for Calgary. So perhaps that could play into it. Was a little bit of like, you do this for us, future considerations, we do that for you, even though you can't put future considerations in a trade on salary retention anymore. So there also was a pick that had to go that way, but I think it was a very, very low pick. So it kind of makes sense because Pierre LeBrun did say that negotiations for this trade, specifically Markstrom to New Jersey, had been ongoing for months. So, because Markstrom had a no move clause, so he would have had to waive that for this trade. So it does sound like he does really want to be in New Jersey. And yeah, Jacob Markstrom, obviously very, very like established goalie. He's 34, I believe. Or is he 38? I don't know. This is bad. I don't have this written down in my notes, nor do I have his stats written down, and I'm not going to look them up. Usually I have them, but I don't.
He played 48 games this season.
I think I got really distracted by the fact that like Sheldon Keefe is going to get some pretty good goaltending. Like a Jacob Markstrom, Jake Allen like tandem. It's not the best one you can have, but it's at least in the top 5-10 of tandems in the NHL, right?
Solid.
It's solid. With whoever you're going with, you're going to get solid goaltending from them most nights.
Yeah.
Right? And I can't wait for Sheldon Keefe to use that against us. Sheldon Keefe, you lucky bastard. Gets fired, ends up in New Jersey, and now he gets a pretty good goalie tandem.
Oh, dear. We're going to suffer. Oh.
But yeah, I think though, like this kind of is the sign that it's time for Calgary to commit to the rebuild. Which I think they should have done it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They're doing it at least a year too late. If it wasn't 2 years ago when you got eliminated from the Stanley Cup final in 2022, it should have at least then been after last season where you didn't make the playoffs. That should have been the one where you're like, all right, it's time. You would, right? Like,
Yeah, like, I get that you don't want to admit it, but also, like, there comes a time.
there comes a time, and there's been crazy turnover in that team. I think to the best of my memory, and I like tried fact checking this, but literally I was like not about to go through the Calgary Flames 2022 roster and like be like, where are they now? So it's just by like knowing. I just kind of did it where I was like, okay, I know you're still there. I know you're still there. I know you're still there. The only guys who are still left on that roster who were on that team in 2022 who played a major role is Rasmus Anderson and Andrew Mangiapane. So I could be totally wrong, and there could be some other guy that slipped through the cracks on me, but that's it.
Mm.
So, well, Calgary,
Good luck to you.
good luck. Another trade though. This one's hurtful for the bottom line Blorbo enjoyers of Dallas.
Oh, devastating.
Hearts go out to our bottom line Blorbos fans in
all
Dallas.
the Blobber Stars fans are all in the black jerseys. They're in mourning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah. So if you don't know, Dallas traded the RFA signing rights because it's not the actual player. Yes, it is him because he is an RFA, so they do have to sign him. Like, that's where he's going to sign, but it is the RFA signing rights of forward Ty Dellandrea. Is that how you say it?
I
Should
said
have
Delandrea, but
Dellandrea.
that might also just be an accent
Dellandrea.
thing. I don't
I
know.
should have looked this up.
I've never heard
There's
anyone
a.
say his name out loud, and I just kind of like
Oh,
assumed.
I'll look on Hockey Reference while I read this out. Yeah. To the San Jose Sharks for a 2025 round fourth round pick. I'm just going to use his first name. Ty is he's 23 years old. He's from Toronto. Interesting. It's Delandria.
Is it?
According to Hockey Reference, Hockey Reference's pronunciation guide. It's Delandria. Sorry. Anyways, Delandria, he's 23 years old, drafted to 13th overall by Dallas in 2018. This season, in 42 games played, he has 2 goals, 7 assists for a combined 9 points. He was healthy scratched often in a very forward, deep Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars have a lot of forward depth, and also as well, like Logan Stankoven was kind of that guy who kind of came in and replaced him in the lineup a lot of nights near the end of the season. I think, you know what, it's a good trade. Like, Dallas was going to have a hard time being able to sign him while also trying to keep Matt Duchene, and if they wanted to try and keep Chris Tanev. So they may not have had the money for him in general. And also he will get more playing time in San Jose. It's a younger team. It's a team that has more gaps to fill. It is a shame. He lived with Jay Gottinger and was he seems like very well loved in the locker room by a lot of his teammates. So it's a shame, but yeah.
Shit happens.
Shit happens. And you know what? You'll be playing with Macklin Celebrate.
Oh.
So, like, Also, you get to wear a pretty cool jersey. I mean, Dallas Stars do have some cool jerseys, but like I am partial to the teal. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, and then here's the last trade of yesterday, which is the last actual trade we have to go over, which is Pierre-Luc Dubois to Washington. I saw this and laughed. And LA Kings traded forward Pierre-Luc Dubois to Washington for goaltender Darcy Kuemper. Darcy Kuemper has a 5.25 million AAV for the next 3 years. In 33 games played last season, and he had a 3.31 goals against average and an 0.89 save percentage, which is a career NHL low for him. He also, over the course of the season, lost the starter job in Washington to Charlie Lindgren. Pierre-Luc Dubois carries a 8.5 cap hit for the next 7 seasons. In 82 games with the LA Kings this past season, he scored 16 goals, 24 assists for 40 points. He was selected 3rd overall in the 2016 draft, so that makes him 25 years old. He is on his 3rd team of his NHL career. Well, no, sorry. Washington is his 4th team. LA was his 3rd team. Washington will also now be in the goalie market to find someone to partner with Charlie Lindgren.
This man is more well-traveled than a middle-class white girl on a gap year.
The L in PLD stands for league-wide tour.
I just are these people okay? Why are we?
This is why the Washington Capitals bought Cap Friendly. It's so they could figure out how to get their team under the cap now with holding on to Pierre-Luc Dubois' contract for the next 7 years, and B, so that no one can look up how much his contract is anymore. He is the 2nd highest paid Washington Capital now, behind Alexander Ovechkin. I shit you not.
I don't understand. Like, what makes you look at him and go, yes, you and your massive fucking contract will be brilliant for this team. Do you people have eyes?
I want to know, did the Washington Capitals watch Pierre-Luc Dubois play hockey? Hold on. You know what? I'm going to do something. I want to know, hold on. I'm looking up his I will say long live the 1-for-1 trades. I love the 1-for-1. Real hockey is back. We're getting 1-for-1 trades. I want to just look up his game. I want to look up his scoring logs.
Yeah, we've got sexy jerseys, 1-for-1 trades. Hockey is bad.
I want, because today it was the whatever, how many year anniversary. It was the anniversary of the Eric Lindros trade from Quebec to Philadelphia. I want that trade back, where you are trading one player and the return is 5, some picks, and cash considerations.
Oh,
that's what I want back, but we will never get it back in because of in the cap era. Like that's part of hockey. That's a part of like NHL trades and like hockey trades in general that we just won't get back because of the cap.
We used to be a proper country.
We used to be a proper country. No, he didn't even score against Washington all season last year. I'm not joking. I'm looking at this man's scoring breakdown on Hockey Reference for this past season. He did not score even a single point against Washington.
I want to just understand.
The Washington Capitals should not have been the team to make the playoffs out of the Metro, out of whatever was going on with like between like Washington, uh Pittsburgh was still somewhat in it, Detroit, and Philadelphia. I think I would have had more fun watching John Tortorella's Philadelphia Flyers play against um the was it what? Carolina? Yeah, it was Carolina. Because we had the Battle of New York, and then we had Carolina and Washington. Because it was a sweep. I can go back and check my notes if you don't believe me.
Oh no, I do believe you. I was just still slightly baffled by the trade.
No, it was Rangers and Capitals. I was wrong. Oops.
Mm.
I don't even believe my own notes. But yeah, no. Could you imagine though, like John Tortorella's Philadelphia Flyers playing against the New York Rangers?
Oh, that would have been so much more entertaining. Like the only reason I'm happy that the Capitals made the playoffs was like for Dylan Strome.
That's one. Hey, Rasmus Sandin.
Yeah. I keep forgetting that he's like gone.
You're like, oh yeah, he's still in Toronto.
Yeah, like every so often it'll hit me and I'll just be like, wait, he's not with us anymore.
Oh. Yeah. LA Kings also as well announced their new logo that's going to appear on their jerseys. Anaheim Ducks have been slowly teasing it. Washington announced it. We're like, here, this is what we have. It's exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I will say every time I look at it, and I don't know whether this is just because I was looking at it for a while, it looks like a basketball team. I don't know why.
Is that because of Sacramento Kings?
I don't know. Like I know
they're kind of the same colors
like
too.
my
It's like
knowledge of
purple, silver, and black.
basketball is limited to like Troy Bolton.
This is totally a conversation we've had before.
Oh, many, many times. So it's like I don't know why, but I just looked at it and I went, "That's a basketball team." Like it has the vibe. I mean, I'm not I like it. I'm a fan, but it looks like it should be a basketball team. And I don't know why I think that. But yeah, that was my thinky thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, if they bring in the metallic, so not in the helmets though, if they bring back those stupid chrome helmets.
Please no.
Not a fan. But I think I like the silver. I like how more teams are incorporating the same sort of like metallic thread and fabric that the Vegas Golden Knights have. Like, Anaheim is going to do it a little bit in like the gold of their new jersey redesign. I really do hope LA does it. I like that. I think it looks cool. I think it's like you don't really notice it when you're watching the games on TV, but like if you actually buy a physical jersey, if you're a fan and you buy a jersey, it looks cool like when you are wearing the jersey on you and you can see it up close, and which is how you sell things.
But no, I'm a fan of the new Kings logo. I'm so excited for the new Ducks one. Like, also when the Ducks tweeted earlier the video of like
Wild Wing.
Then they captioned it like "out with the old." I immediately just went to like High School Musical.
In with
Like
the
I was
new
expecting, because
hello
I had to watch it without sound, so I was like, oh, I was like, oh yeah, they'll have like played a High School Musical song. No, and I felt quite disappointed, but then I realized that that's just me.
Also, High School Musical takes place in Albuquerque, but it's filmed in Utah.
'Cause why not?
But you were about to insult me for the fact that I know that off the top of my head.
No, I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Your High School Musical knowledge has charmed me.
Oh, well, I didn't have the first movie on DVD and then the soundtrack for 2 and 3 for nothing. There are
Oh,
like, yeah, oh yeah. You and my cousins would make up dances to Boys Are Back from High School Musical 3.
oh, to be a fly on the wall.
My mom has a video of it.
If I suddenly become best friends with your mum in the next like 40 hours, it's completely unrelated, I swear.
No, like I really liked High School Musical. I don't know if I don't know I don't know if we've ever talked about this. I feel like I've definitely told you about this where it's like I have often thought about like when I do get married, like what the first dance would be. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, Dirty Dancing. Ooh, so just a song that I like. Or can I have this dance from High School Musical
Oh,
3? Full choreography.
oh, please. That would be incredible.
Full choreography.
Mm.
I love High School Musical. The most upsetting part is Simon has not seen it, and it's deeply upsetting.
Right, Emma, I think it's time you sit that man down and have a very like
No,
stern word with him.
the only problem is that if I make him watch High School Musical, I then have to also make him watch Camp Rock 1 and 2 and also Teen Beach Movie 1 and 2. Because I know I still have the choreography for Bruisin' for a Cruisin' ingrained in my brain that if that song came out on, I'd be able to bust it out. No problem.
Which is why you need to watch them all with him.
Because it was like that and like Hoedown Throwdown from the Hannah Montana movie that had like the dance alongs on Family Channel. Like after the movie aired, they would be like, oh, and come us like do like the learn the choreography thing. And me and my sister were so into Teen Beach Movie. And something about Ross Lynch, I think. I think it was something about Ross Lynch. Um, are you looking up pictures of Ross Lynch?
I know what Rush Lynch looks like.
Um, and we would do like we made sure to not only PVR the like when the movie premiered on Family Channel, we also made sure we went to my mom. We're like, hey mom, can we be home at like 7 o'clock next Friday? There's a movie that's airing on TV that we want to watch.
Stop, that's so
And she
cute.
said yes.
Huge day for you.
Huge day for me and my sister. We love Teen Beach Movie. I think then we rewatched the uh the um the PVR like how we have it PVR'd for like weeks and weeks after until I think we had to get like a new cable box, and so we lost all of our PVR stuff. Very sad day.
No, because that happened to me a few years ago. And like we'd had the same like little skybox for years. So we had so many things that like just aren't on anymore. Like we had all like the David Walliams movies. Like we had all them like recorded, and then we swapped the box and we lost them. And I was genuine. I had like a good two seasons. Yeah, I had the first two seasons of House of Anubis on there.
No, that's criminal. Because you can't find House of Anubis anywhere anymore.
Apart
Like
from
online.
you can find the first season of House of Anubis on my DVD shelf.
You have the first.
Oh yeah. I got it for Christmas
I
like
love that show because
3
we got
years
it here
ago.
and it was like I fully thought that I'd fully like imagined it like it was like a book that I had read and then had somehow like my memory had turned it into a TV show because I would like look it up and I couldn't find like any online proof that it had ever existed. Like you can't like Google like because you know like sometimes shows will have like episodes or clips on YouTube. You can't do that with House of Anubis. It does not exist online, and it's deeply upsetting because I loved that show.
No, do you like when we swapped the box over and I found out like I didn't know either. I
No.
didn't know we were getting a new box. So I come home from school one day and I'm like, ah, perfect. You know, I was like in the middle of a House of Anubis rewatch. And then I go to watch it and everything's gone. And I'm sat there and I'm like, what? Where have you gone? And that was the worst day of my life when I lost House of Anubis. And that's because I will never ever experience the same joy as I did when I'd come home from like primary school and I'd sit on the floor and I'd watch my 2 House of Anubis episodes that were on. And that like period of half an hour was the highlight of my life, hands down. Nothing will ever be just sitting and just being like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. But yeah, so in case anyone couldn't tell, I am very, very passionate about House of Anubis.
Oh, it was such a great show. And they like don't make shows like that.
They don't they don't make good TV anymore.
They
Like if
don't make
I'm not
no.
sat aged like 9 and I'm still cringing at how bad the acting is, I, I don't want it. Like I need to be having a physical reaction to how cringy it is. But
I
no,
don't,
bring back proper TV.
bring back proper TV. I know we don't like to speculate on the show, but this has been a rumor that's been going on for the past couple of days that I think is so fascinating to me.
Mm,
And that is all of these trade rumors that are going on between Philadelphia and Ottawa. I am eating these up to the point where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bring these up on the show.
yeah, you can't not. It's so just like
I'm so deeply entertained because like the issues that Ottawa needs to address are so very obvious. It's goaltending and forward depth. I think maybe even like because their defense is pretty okay. There's a little bit of issues with their forward depth. Like and I think just maybe depth overall is maybe the problem.
mm,
But like goaltending's their major issue. Oh I've seen about every single name thrown around in the past couple of days that just there's something where I'm like, yeah.
I'm like this will cause the downfall of everything.
This will cause chaos on Twitter. I think purely because the names that are getting thrown around, at least from like it's more so the names that are getting thrown around from the Philadelphia side of things, where
Mm,
um it's like Travis Konechny, Scott Lawton, Joel Farabee I saw today.
don't
Who
do it.
else? Who haven't I said? Um, yeah, but there's a lot there. Whereas like Ottawa, it's like more like, okay, Shane Pinto, yeah, he was like rumored to get traded last season, and then that happened. But it's like Jake Sanderson, which would be a shame to lose him. I actually really like him. I saw it was like then there's talks about like Philadelphia wanting to trade up to the 7th overall pick to try and make sure that they get Sam Dickinson, which like why do you need another defenseman?
Mm.
It's like so many different names, and it's all so equally as fascinating for me.
I don't think I'm ready to just witness the chaos of what had happened on Twitter. If anything, if anyone gets traded.
I'm so excited for that.
But I'm not being funny. If the Flyers trade Joe Farabee, I worry for their safety.
Wells
Like there will
Fargo
be
will be on fire within the hour.
yes, there will be protests.
In the street. It's because you have to also understand this is Philly sports fans who are known for being exceptionally enthusiastic. Is that the right word to use?
It's a word that can be applied.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not being funny. If Joel Farabee goes to Ottawa, there will be rescue missions.
People will have to find the Canadian Tire Center first in order. I even saw people because Thomas Shabbat's no like it's like modified. I think it's like 10 team no move clause kicks in on July 1st. Now this could have no impact. Maybe he doesn't have Philadelphia there on his list, but it is like they I don't know how to say. I'm trying to figure out. I often joke that he's chained to the in the basement of the Canadian Tire, like he's in a cage in the basement of the Canadian Tire Center, and they can't let him leave. And like, if you trade Thomas Schwab, who's gonna play 30 minutes a night for you?
Exactly. Like what? What do you do?
Also, I think it's very funny that it is out of all teams the Philadelphia Flyers, whose GM is uh, Danny Briere, who is this very heavily rumored trade partner with the Ottawa Senators, who um, is the team of Claude Giroux, and that is all I will say on the matter. Has everyone ever like the narrative consequences of it like being a really big trade between Philadelphia and Ottawa is massive, and I am so here for it. Also, I just remembered if you trade Thomas Chabot, who's gonna teach Josh Norris French?
Think of the children.
Think of Josh Norris and his fucked over shoulder.
Exactly. But I'm very interested to see how this unfolds.
Oh, I'm so and like maybe nothing comes of it. Who knows? Maybe we'll see something really close to the draft and free agency. Who knows? It's going to be a very busy week coming up. Very excited about it. But we'll see. It's all interesting. Also, as well to note, and I realized we forgot to mention this. It was not even in. I had never written this down, but it is in like our spreadsheet. Canucks Philip Hronik re-signed with the Canucks on an 8-year 7.25 AAV contract.
It's a lot of money.
Yes, it's a lot of money, but he is like the best D partner Quinn Hughes has ever had. So you kind of want to lock that down.
Yeah. It's like it's a lot of money, but no matter how much you have to pay him, do it. Double it.
Yeah. Like he did play really well for the Canucks this season, especially paired up with Quinn Hughes. And I think, if you're if you kind of want, like, if you have the opportunity to, you kind of want to lock down the emotionally supportive D partner for Quinn Hughes.
Also, do you know what I find quite funny? And like, of course, he had 43 assists. He did it for Quinn.
That's hilarious. But yeah, no, so that's a good move by Patrick Alvin. Also as well, congrats to Eric Tulsky for losing the interim title as the GM for the Carolina Hurricanes. Dude started from the fan side in doing analytics for Broad Street Hockey, and he also is extremely highly educated and went to Harvard and holds 27 patents, which is crazy. So we're not ignoring that, but it is really cool to see a guy who very much started on the fan side of things in terms of in hockey specifically, making his way into a very high position, like the highest position you can basically have in an NHL team. That's cool. Congrats to you, Eric.
Good for him.
Good
also,
for him.
It really, every time I look at him, all I can see is Ethan Slater, and it really throws me off.
He looks more like Ethan Slater than Owen Power does. I'm being honest, and it's not just the hair. It's the everything.
Yeah, like he's even got Ethan Slater's vibe.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's like, oh yes, also as well, and I'm only bringing this up because it's like teams are starting to announce their preseason schedule, and the Leafs, like always, are one of the last teams to do it because of course.
Shocker.
So it's like it's fun to play. Let's try and match up the preseason schedules so we can try and put the Leafs preseason schedule together without them telling us. Because it's like all these teams have it, so
just tell us,
just
please.
Yeah, like all of the teams have had this have obviously, right? Like it's like teams are starting to announce it. It's not hard to make a graphic and be like, hey, here you go. I just want to know because other teams are finding out and I'm feeling left out. But according to the Montreal Canadiens, the Leafs will have preseason games in Montreal on September 26th and in Toronto. Sorry, no. In Toronto, September 26th, and in Montreal, September 28th.
That's 11 and 13 days after my 21st birthday.
How fun.
Fun fact for you.
Yeah, the Leafs also guaranteed to not have a game in Toronto on September 25th, as that is when Sabrina Carpenter is performing at the Scotiabank Arena.
I saw like her tour dates and I was like, well, no Leafs preseason game then.
Yeah, I mean they could be somewhere else. I just want to know. I need either Ottawa to announce it or I need Toronto to announce it, so I know which days to mark off my calendars for the Leafs preseason game that I will be attending. Because I went to it last year and it was great, even though the Leafs lost, and the lineup they rolled out was something special. I did get to see Dennis Hildeby start at net, so.
Me and my signed Dennis Hildeby jersey hate you right now. That should have been me.
Move to Ottawa.
Yeah, well, you know what? If I could, I would. However, I can't because I am in the middle of my degree.
Well, you've got what, a year left?
And also, yeah, but then I've got my masters and
do your masters here.
I don't know if they offer the course I want to do. But and as well, I'd miss Toby Carvery. I would. But no, crazy day for trades yesterday.
Crazy day for trades. Oh, the Montreal Canadiens are posting prom pictures of their players.
I what?
I was an NHLer and my prom picture got posted by my own team.
Oh my god.
Um,
Oh, that's brilliant.
Hey, that's something special. Yeah. Also, as well, I'm trying to like. There was a tweet. There was something in here that I wanted to bring up, and I'm trying to remember what it is that isn't me just like making up bullshit. Um. Oh,
Oh,
this is via the fourth. This is via David Pagnotta from the fourth period. As Toronto is on Allmark's no trade list, Ottawa is also believed to be on his right list, but two separate sources have told me he would accept a trade to the Senators if a deal between the two teams is finalized. Why would you do that? Why would you want to come here? This is, and I'm saying this as someone who chose to live here willingly.
is he okay? Maybe he's just going through something. That's crazy.
That's mental. Um, Anyways, also gonna drop that into the offsite Discord and then backing away.
You drop it and then just leave. Oh dear.
That's something. I will say, like, there's two different mindsets where it's like, okay, maybe he wants to come to Ottawa because there is no, like, if he's in Ottawa, he is the number one starter, hands down. If he goes to Toronto, he has to fight it out with Wool, who is very similar to Jeremy Swayman. Oh, I think we've definitely talked about this on the show before,
Oh
where
yeah.
it's like when there was Allmark to Toronto rumors, where we were like, yeah, this could potentially work.
Yeah. I'm sad it won't work, and I'm sad it won't happen.
Yeah, it is interesting it will be interesting, but
We could have had like the two friendliest goalies in the world. But no, it was not meant to be. But no, so it'll be exciting to see what comes of that.
that is definitely a situation that I'm watching because Bruins have have some really solid prospects in the pipeline.
Mm,
And also can't you can't afford to keep both Swayman and Allmark with Swayman entering free agency.
no.
That's my phone buzzing, sorry.
But yeah, it's dear me.
But yeah, I think we'll end it here because I thought we were going to be longer today based on just all the hockey we had to talk about, but I think we're going to end here mostly because I need to turn the fan on in my room because I am actually physically
Oh,
overheating and I'm getting so
no,
warm
don't
sitting
melt.
here because it's a heat wave. My apartment has no AC and my building finally like it was so cool for most of this week and today is like the first day where it's actually been like hot inside the building. Like
Oh,
the heat has seeped through into the building because usually my building's really well insulated. But even like me, I'm
I'm
like sitting in the
cold.
basement. I have a basement apartment and I'm still sweating my ass. I'm
Oh,
literally, I don't know if you can probably see how red my face is. Yeah,
just a little bit.
I'm very, very warm. Um,
So I sat out in the sun for like 25 minutes at lunchtime, and my legs started to burn, which both says how sunny it was here, and also it just emphasizes how painfully ginger I am. I can't sit out for 25 minutes without starting to burn. But yeah, summer's finally here. I'm
yeah,
not having to deal with the weird, rainy, miserable weather that we've had so far.
yeah. With that being said, I guess we'll end here. I'm sorry. My brain doesn't work anymore.
No.
I've been chugging water like there's no tomorrow, but it's still stupidly hot, and I need to turn my fan on that I turn off for these episodes because I don't want you guys to hear it. So, but with that being said, um thank you so much for listening. We'll be back on Monday, as always, for another episode. Kind of hopefully gearing up to talk more about the draft and about free agency.
Mm.
We'll see if anything. I thought that was kind of what we were going to talk about today, but then yesterday happened, and it was like, never mind. Um,
Mm.
so I don't know, but maybe things will ramp up. Who knows? There's still a weekend ahead. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. You can find this show wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow the show on Twitter at From the Fourth Line. That's fourth with the number 4TH. You can follow Marcy on Twitter at Sixloose. You can follow myself at PRB1. And that is all. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back on Monday, perhaps with a Stanley Cup champion crowned, perhaps gearing up for a Game 7.
Who
Who
knows?
knows? Who knows? If the Stanley Cup final goes to 7 games, I'm not gonna make a promise because I nearly said I would get a Edmonton Oilers tattoo, which is not happening.
Little Oilers Trump stomp.
No. My parents would not approve of that.
Ooh.
I don't know, I was thinking like a cheeky little like 97 or something, but no. All right.
Oh dear.
That's all. Bye-bye.